Out there in the dark, colossal stars collapse into nothing. Entire species vanish from the record. There is no malice, no accusation, and no judgment. The director Stanley Kubrick observed that the cosmos is entirely, terrifyingly indifferent to human existence. Hostility implies an adversary, someone you might negotiate with or fight. Indifference offers zero consolation. It suggests a reality that simply does not care whether we succeed or disappear. If the universe was never designed to ensure our welfare, how can our existence as a species carry any genuine meaning? We have to consider that meaning is a contribution consciousness makes to a universe that otherwise contains no obligation to provide it. Down here on Earth, every organism alive today is the temporary victor of a merciless evolutionary accounting system. It's a system written in hunger, in predation, mutation, disease, and inevitable death. We often marvel at the aesthetic beauty of nature, but that magnificence is built on brutal mechanics. The elegance of a leopard is inseparable from the terror of the gazelle. This maps the arithmetic of tooth and claw. With limited energy and finite territory, vulnerable bodies are continuously liquidated into stronger metabolisms. The network eventually hits an unyielding thermodynamic limit. At this capacity, it is zero-sum. For one node to expand, another must be destroyed. Nature is magnificent, but it is not innocent. We were born into an ecosystem that demands misery as the price of survival. Then, evolution produced the human frontal lobe, an organ capable of rehearsing realities that do not yet exist. Imagination is our first chamber of technological escape. It allows a primate nervous system to violate the apparent finality of its environment by constructing an alternative inside itself. Before a bridge crosses a river, it crosses the mind. Agriculture, flight, and computation all began when we learned to imagine that our current circumstances were not our destiny. Civilization acts as a buffer. Intelligence deliberately intervenes between the body and the weather, or between vulnerability and infection. We are animals who learn to disobey the immediate world. We don't escape physical law. We understand it deeply enough to redirect its consequences. We still live with Darwinian selection, though it has migrated into modern markets, institutions, and status systems. We remain governed by thermodynamics and the irreversible expenditure of energy. Matter is not infinitely obedient. But look at the difference between physical limits and social ones. On the left, we have the hard reality of energy. On the right, we see a distribution network where resources are diverted through a narrow bottleneck before they can reach the population. This bottleneck represents our decision architecture. It explains why children starve within reach of warehouses of food, and why preventable diseases persist despite our massive productive capacity. Scarcity has become a choice. We have built the tools to generate abundance, yet we maintain the gates that keep that abundance restricted. Much of the misery we see today is no longer a mandate of entropy. It is the result of how we have decided to organize our civilization. We should view AI, fusion energy, robotics, and synthetic biology as a single converging capability. These technologies offer a way to reduce the amount of suffering the universe demands as the price of participation in existence. Technological maturity arrives when intelligence, human, artificial, or hybrid, succeeds in loosening the grip of compulsory misery. Mastery over matter achieves its purpose when survival no longer consumes the entire cognitive horizon of billions of people. Some worry that eliminating material struggle will flatten human originality. But struggle is not the same as avoidable suffering. Poverty acts as a violent compression of the self. It narrows attention to emergencies and forces the imagination into the service of immediate survival. Consider the musicians who died without instruments, or the inventors who never saw a laboratory. Most human originality has never been given the conditions required to appear. Easing the human condition redirects our intrinsic struggle upward, shifting our energy toward discovery, creation, and self-transformation. The universe will not reverse entropy because we are afraid, or preserve us because we have learned to love. Yet we are a primate species forged in violence that has chosen to build instruments of mercy. That is what genuine meaning looks like. The escape velocity we seek is a departure from the belief that nature's most brutal arrangements must remain our permanent social model.